To understand the US position on the protests in Iran in a scientific and objective manner, it is necessary to approach it through a political position analysis methodology. This begins with deconstructing the general context, then returning to the historical and strategic backgrounds, analyzing interests, identifying the actors involved, and finally anticipating objectives and limits. Political positions are not understood through statements alone, but through a complex network of international and regional balances, as well as geopolitical, economic, and security calculations. At the international level, the protests in Iran emerged at a sensitive moment in the evolution of the international system, as the world is witnessing an accelerated transition from a unipolar system led by the United States to a system characterized by multiple centers of power. China's economic and military rise, Russia's return as an active international player, and the declining US ability to impose its will unilaterally have all made Washington more sensitive to any development that could affect its traditional spheres of influence. The Middle East remains a vital arena for American strategic interests. At the regional level, Iran is considered one of the key pillars in the Middle Eastern balance of power. Its influence is not limited to its national borders, but extends through a network of alliances and non-state actors in Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen. From the American perspective, this role constitutes a direct threat to the alliance system Washington has built in the region over decades, particularly with Israel and the Gulf states. In the Iranian domestic context, the outbreak of protests cannot be separated from the long accumulation of economic, social, and political crises. The Iranian economy has suffered for years under the pressure of US and international sanctions. These internal factors provided fertile ground for the eruption of protests. However, in its official discourse, the United States seeks to present these events as a pure expression of the will of the Iranian people. Returning to the roots of the US-Iranian conflict, it becomes clear that the rivalry dates back to the 1979 Iranian Revolution, which ended a strategic alliance that had existed between Washington and the Shah's regime. Since then, the relationship has turned into one of structural hostility, manifested in the severing of diplomatic relations, the hostage crisis, economic sanctions, and indirect conflicts. The US position on the protests is based on a set of intertwined determinants. First, the value-based determinant, represented by the defense of human rights. Second, the strategic determinant, regarding the nuclear program and regional policies. And third, the security determinant, linked to protecting direct American interests and the security of its allies, especially Israel. When analyzing Iran's geopolitical dimension, its status as an unavoidable regional power becomes evident, especially its control over the Strait of Hormuz. A significant proportion of global oil supplies pass through this strait. Additionally, Iran possesses vast oil and gas resources, making it an important player in the global energy market despite sanctions. The United States no longer tends toward rapid military resolution, but rather toward employing non-traditional tools and regional mediation. In this context, Turkey occupies a special position due to its geographic location and complex relations. Relying on the Turkish mediation role aligns with the strategy of reducing direct military engagement and shifting part of the burden of crisis management to regional actors. In conclusion, the US position on the protests in Iran is a complex one, where value-based considerations intersect with strategic calculations. It seeks to exploit Iran's internal movement to weaken a strategic adversary while avoiding direct military confrontation, relying increasingly on non-military pressure and regional mediation to achieve a delicate balance between interests and risks.